Eileen and Ben's notes are in a much smaller font than David's. Marcia's are pretty good too. What if I told you there was an organization that led an effort to secure more than $2 million in grant funding on behalf of the city of New York? And what if I told you that half of that funding came from private community funders, including our own Preserve Planet Earth Committee? Impressive, right? Well, let me tell you a little bit about the leader of that organization, which is, of course, Downtown Inc. Sonia Huntzinger began her career with Bethlehem Chamber of Commerce as the event coordinator for downtown Bethlehem. Her position grew to include the oversight of 17 downtown districts throughout the Lehigh Valley. Her enthusiasm for her job came from cultivating sustainable relationships with merchants, organizations, and municipal officials, all in the interest of bettering the communities that she served. Following her time in Lehigh Valley, Sonia served as director of a visitors and conference bureau in Central California, where she crafted long-range tourism marketing strategies and managed all public relations and communications for a burgeoning wine district. Upon returning to the East Coast, she served as a marketing and communications manager for a residential developer to gain experience with the community side of economic development. Now in New York, she has returned to her primary passion, working in the downtown district, strengthening the local economy through revitalization, small business development, and destination marketing. Most recently, Sonia received the designation of Certified Economic Developer from the International Economic Development Council, a designation that is very difficult to earn. This national recognition denotes a master of principal skills in economic development, professional attainment, and commitment to personal and professional growth. And we're so lucky to have her here in New York. Now I'd like to welcome the Executive Director of Downtown Inc., Sonia Huntzinger.
Thanks to all of you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I recognize what a coveted opportunity this really is. And as I was putting my notes together to speak to you, I thought about what I wanted you to take away today. And I came up with three main ideas. Number one, I'd like you to leave here knowing that the improvements that are going on in downtown New York are not happening by chance. That there's actually a real and calculated effort behind them. Number two, I want you to walk out of here thinking, wow, I had no idea Downtown Inc. did all that. And number three, I hope that you'll leave here today with a better understanding of how the economic success of downtown New York impacts you, your businesses, and the county overall. And I'm going to work from the assumption that outside of this weekly Rotary meeting, that you've been downtown once or twice, maybe in the past year or so, maybe to a Strand show, maybe to a ball game, maybe for dinner, maybe even to a First Friday event, and that you've witnessed firsthand the improvements and the energy that's happening. So number one, the changes and improvements that we are experiencing are part of a concerted and strategic effort underway to enhance downtown York. How many of you remember Main Street York? I'm betting there are some former board members in this room from Main Street York. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, Main Street York started 30 years ago. 30 years ago, as a nonprofit focused on downtown revitalization. Then, in 1998, the city established a business improvement district, the BID. The BID allowed for a special assessment to be collected from the property owners in the central business district. Those funds were to be used to improve downtown. So you had two entities running on parallel tracks, one a 501c3 and one a business improvement district with the special assessment, both basically with the same mission and the same objectives. In 2006, those two entities came together under the heading of Downtown Inc. Now, they technically couldn't merge because the IRS frowns on quasi-governmental taxing agencies merging with 501c3s. But in name, they came together under the heading of Downtown Inc. And since then, we've been at the center of the effort. We coordinate, empower, convene, manage, celebrate, collaborate, encourage, promote, and drive the improvement efforts going on downtown. Now, I've heard some people use the term organic to describe the transformation. And I looked it up. Organic can be defined as having no overarching control or direction. And I can assure you that's not the case. There are hundreds of people working every day to enhance the 26 square blocks that make up York's Central Business District. We're fortunate in York to have commercial real estate agents, downtown shop owners, restaurateurs, philanthropists, small business owners, their employees, elected officials, downtown residents, Rotary members, municipal employees, cops, sheriffs, developers, and so many more, all working day in and day out to make downtown York a thriving destination. In 2010, the William Penn Foundation partnered with the City of Philadelphia, and they conducted a study on the key factors that drive successful urban core revitalization. And their findings show a direct correlation between a thriving downtown and a strong downtown agency that's solely dedicated to improving corridor performance. So takeaway number one, downtown improvements are being planned, coordinated, and driven. They're not just happening by chance. Number two, Downtown Inc. does all that. Eric Menzer likes to say that effective downtown revitalization is both science and art, and he's right. Do I get points for that?
Sure.
Eric's on our board. The art involves herding the cats, navigating the politics, and managing the message. The science is the technical and tactical, on-the-ground application of economic development principles. Take a look at the Vision 2020 that we put on your table. This outlines our goals for the next 5 years. But I'd like you to follow along with me at the bottom of the front page where it lists our 5 core focus areas. This is the science. These 5 primary elements must be addressed simultaneously with equal measure and ratcheted up incrementally over time in order to create a long-term, sustainable economic recovery in a microeconomy like a downtown. Beginning with business development. At Downtown Inc., we work to attract and retain businesses. Over the past 5 years, we've assisted more than 100 businesses coming in to downtown. In 2010, we cut the ribbons for 6 new businesses. Last year, we cut 33. And this year, we're at 21 so far. That's just in the Central Business District. That's not citywide. And we have programs to ensure that those businesses are strong, healthy, and growing. We host free educational workshops, provide access to resources, manage cooperative advertising programs, and promote the businesses through social media, marketing, advertising, and special events. Placemaking. That's everything you can see, everything in the physical environment. Traffic patterns, store facades, public spaces like the rail trail, Continental Square, and Cherry Lane, flower planting, litter pickup, public art, and mulching tree wells. If we're not doing it independently, we're partnering with other organizations or the city to make sure it gets done. Housing. Tourists go home, sorry, Ann. Tourists go home. Downtown employees go home. But a downtown resident spends considerably more time and more money in a downtown business. So housing is a key driver in a downtown's economic success. Now, we're not real estate developers at Downtown Inc., but I like to say that we set the table so that developers have the confidence and the interest in developing downtown. We actually support the softer side of real estate development projects. For instance, we partnered with the Community Foundation this year to pay for a residential market study for the downtown. So now developers, financiers, anybody who has an interest in the downtown housing market can use that residential market study for whatever they need, free of charge. Softer side of real estate. Promotion. Promotion includes destination guides, social media, advertising campaigns, and special events that are designed specifically to drive paying patrons into the stores and restaurants. Downtown improvement only works if people know about it. So we're constantly striving to get the word out about all the great things that are going on in downtown. And last but certainly not least, public safety. We work very closely with the York City PD and the Sheriff's Department to mitigate criminal and vagrant activity. Our efforts include educating our businesses on best safety practices, ensuring adequate and appropriate deployment, and this year we introduced a text alert system that allows us to communicate with our constituents in real time any issues or concerns that might impact their business. So you can see there are a lot of moving parts to what we do. And to reiterate, the critical importance of working in all of these areas at the same time. Some of you have probably heard me say, you can't just plant some flowers and expect your downtown to come back. You can't just fill a vacant space and expect it to spur development on the whole block. Flowers, occupancy, critically important, but no one element stands alone as catalytic in downtown revitalization. So that's number 2. I had no idea they did all that. Feel free to take the Vision 2020 home with you, take a look at it, and send us any feedback or comments. So now number 3. What does all this mean to you and your business? From a civic standpoint, a healthy downtown reflects a community's quality of life. The historic and cultural core of the community, preserving the history, and in York's case, the historic architecture, provides for our sense of pride and ownership of our story. Well, it's your story. I've only been here for 6 years. It's going to take a long time before it's my story too, but our story. A Gallup poll in 2010 discovered a significant link between the emotional attachment that residents feel toward their community and the economic growth of that community. No surprise here. The more attached people are to their community, the more likely they are to stay there, staying in their jobs longer, volunteering in the community, raising families, supporting nonprofits, and building the economy. Downtown plays a role in building the sense of place and pride that residents become emotionally attached to. It's the gathering place where special events and celebrations like the Halloween parade bring everyone together and reinforce that intangible sense of community. From an environmental standpoint, investment in the core is the ultimate recycling. Infill development reduces sprawl, thereby preserving open space and quality of life, not just in the city, but in the suburbs as well. Reduces time spent in the car, on the roads, reduces emissions. Smart Growth America, Urban Land Institute, and the Congress for New Urbanism, all founded on sustainability in development, which directly translates into less sprawl and more redevelopment in the city centers. From an economic perspective, a healthy downtown improves property values and stimulates the housing market, not just in the city, but throughout the surrounding suburbs. Even if people choose not to live in the downtown, they most often choose to live in an area with civic, cultural, and social amenities, typically concentrated in the downtown. Your business, whether you're B2B or B2C, your customer, your service provider, your workforce, they're all changing. Your talent pool is changing. The workforce of today and tomorrow, millennials, Gen Xers, even empty nesters, want a walkable urban environment where they can live, work, and socialize. One of the ribbon cuttings that I mentioned before was Sapio Sciences. They moved into the dispatch building on North George Street. It's a software company, so they have 15 well-paid, well-educated employees. They moved in from the suburbs because the employees requested it. They wanted to be downtown. And consumer preferences are changing. Macy's just announced that they're closing 40 stores in 2016. Consumers no longer want a homogeneous shopping experience. They want a unique product selection, they want customer service, and they want to buy local from locally owned independent business owners, where they know that when they spend $100, 84 of those dollars stay in the community. Spend it at Macy's, spend it at Target, and only $40 stays here. A healthy commercial center impacts the economic well-being of the entire region. Listen to this quote from State of Cities. It's a publication produced by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. America's regional economies can compete effectively only if they are supported by cities that have a strong foundation. In an era of high mobility, low transportation and information costs, and fierce global competition, a metropolitan region without a healthy urban core finds itself at a severe competitive disadvantage. In a global economy, firms choose among regions, and the health of the central city is a key factor in deciding which region is best. Even if firms choose to relocate to the suburbs, they will choose areas surrounded by a vibrant central city. End quote. So the state of York's Central Business District directly affects not just the city, not just the county, but the entire region, economically, environmentally, and socially. So it's imperative that we continue to work toward a thriving, vibrant, and economically sound downtown. So let's review. Your 3 takeaways today. Number 1, there is a concerted and strategic effort being made to revitalize downtown York. It's not just happening organically. Number 2, there's a science to downtown revitalization. And Downtown Inc. is the organization that employs the strategies and principles and applies the tactics through 5 core focus areas. I'm not going to test you on the core focus areas. Just need to know there's a science behind it. And lastly, number 3, a healthy and vibrant urban center impacts property values throughout the county, is key to positioning our county in the regional economy, and to attracting today's and tomorrow's workforce. I appreciate your time and your attention. Thank you very much.